Hello there. I'm Sharon Tinberg, owner of Rags to Riches. I want to thank you for joining me for this interview today with Hector Nolasco from Oklahoma City. I'm thrilled he took the time to do this video. He's a very busy man, as all of you are. So I want to do this little epilogue to apologize for the screeching that you will occasionally hear in the background on this video. It is not the taping, it is Hector's new bird. And Hector's bird was not too crazy about my voice. So every time I came on, the bird started screeching. Funny, because when I was in college, my freshman year, I was actually second semester, I was majoring in radio and TV, and my radio professor said, Sharon, find a new major. Your voice will never make it on the radio. I guess he was right. Thank you for joining us for this video. If you'd like to chat with Hector, his phone number and contact information is on the screen, and we hope that you enjoy the time you're going to take with Hector.
Let me say welcome to my audience. I'm so thrilled that you joined us again for one of the great things I feel we do at Rags to Riches, which is interviewing owners who are willing to share their experiences with us. And today we have Hector Nolasco, who is with Cleaning Empire of Oklahoma. Hector, welcome.
Thank you, Sharon, and thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
The pleasure is ours, because without y'all, we can't learn from you. So thank you for taking the time out to do this. So Hector, let's talk a little bit about you and your background. Can you give us your educational background and what you've done as far as a career up to this point in time, and then maybe why in the world did you decide to do this?
Okay, yeah, sure. So educational background, I guess, I didn't quite listen to my parents as much as I should have. Then I ended up dropping out of high school when I was in 10th grade. So I got my GED from the Oklahoma City Community College here next door. And then I started on a path to where I thought I was going to find a career at working as, several things at the Hobby Lobby distribution warehouse here in Oklahoma, I'm sure. Eventually, I found the oil field, and that's where I've been for the past 18 plus years. And, I love it. It's been a really good way for me to provide for my family. I make more than anybody deserves to make in the field, and it's just challenging to me, and it's always something new to learn. And now the last couple of years, though, we have we realized that my job takes me away for so much, and we don't have any kind of quality time together. We really started doing it with my mom. My mom had a few clients that she would clean for, on her own. Excuse me. And my wife would go and help on that. And eventually, they picked up a house here and there, and another house here and there, and then it turned into more than just the weekends. We finally decided that this is something that we probably do as a business, and we did start it thinking that we had a plan in place, and like I mentioned to you earlier, and then we hit that brick wall, and then here came Sharon. But that's basically where we're at now.
And what month and year was that, Hector?
That was in October of last year, so roughly 6 months ago. And we came up with several funky names, but it was my sister who about a week later after that texted me and said, so what, are you finally going to start your cleaning empire or what? And basically that's where the name came from, and here we are.
How many repeat clients do you have?
Right now, we had made it up, come and go. We were up to 5. Right now, we're at 3. But we really realized that the reason is because we just didn't have any kind of plan in, any kind of a formal plan in place, and we didn't know how important those repeat clients were to us. To tell you the truth, we thought that they would grow on trees and eventually will come and one will fall and we'll get 10 of them. It's just we had no idea that there's a proper way to acquire them, keep them happy. And part of that acquiring them, of course, is we have to get out there and market. We just don't, we didn't, that never crossed our minds. We just thought, oh, we'll do great here. And then eventually the customers will come.
So Hector, what were you looking for when you decided to do business in a box? What did you feel you needed to get you where you needed?
Yeah. And basically, I think I needed everything, because like I said, we had the plan. And basically, the most important thing is really educate myself. Part of the reason I think I was so cocky about it was because, everything that up to this point that I tried, I don't feel like I have failed at doing. It's taken me a while to get to where I want to be at certain points or at certain things. And I don't think that I have failed yet, but I'm sure that if I would have kept going in the route that I was going, this would have definitely been a failure. So yeah, basically that's what I was looking for, something that can guide me in the right way, from how to start the cleaning process, how to treat clients, how to pay employees. I mean, what's better to do, percentage or hourly? I mean, I had a million questions, and little by little, everything's been answered. So
You said you hadn't thought of is consistent quality cleanings, a cleaning process and system, training manuals and videos, and detailed job descriptions. So if you hadn't thought of that, were your sisters and you and your wife just cleaning the way your mom cleaned?
that's exactly right. I mean, one of the first jobs I think that I had from little, I must have been 12 or 13, was janitorial services. So I had taken that same mentality, and so I thought I knew what I was doing, but in all reality, there are basically trade secrets, and things that you have to know how to do right. So the systems in place is great. The core training has been the process, and in a way, it kind of gives us a way to check up on ourselves. What we're doing wrong, and what we're doing right, and how to apply it and make it faster. I love that about core training.
You said one of the challenges was to get your body and your mind to think the way core training operates. What do you mean by that? Habits, I guess, but what habits do you need to change?
Yeah, so like I said, I mean, I think that I have been cleaning for forever, so I knew that my first thought when I walk into a house is to scope out the place, of course, but I would never really have a game plan going in there. You just basically go in there, see what it throws at you, and go from there. And then say carrying the apron it was kind of challenging at first because I didn't like the apron. And I didn't think it made me look very sexy, I guess. I don't know what the deal was, but anyway, I eventually realized that that's probably my best tool. I don't have to, carry one thing on one hand, the other on another hand, and my pockets stuffed full of things, or keep my bucket in the corner where I know it's gonna, I could access it fast or whatever. No, everything is on me. So I have to get past those couple of points, that we have that it's mostly the way your mind and your brain works. It wants to do things that you've been doing forever and ever, and eventually you have to change that. I kind of go back to I think something you said that even applies here, and it's a change of your embrace your new season.
What kind of return did you expect for making that commitment to change? And have you seen any of it? What have you seen?
Yeah, no, I definitely have seen it. When I finally decided that I was going to carry was whenever I knew that it looked more professional, first of all. But yeah, no, I mean, we would watch. YouTube has a barrage of things that you can go in and look and see how things do things differently and advice. And we would go on there, and I think that's kind of what got me realizing that I needed to man up and put the apron on was the fact that it looks more professional. It really does. It does look a lot like you have you have a set of procedures in place and that you're an established person as a cleaner. And I think it eases the mind of the person's home that you're in also. I mean, the apron kind of it it what is it? It's part of your uniform. And so when I decided to do that, I think it made me feel a lot better. And what I expected is exactly what I'm seeing now is makes everything easier. I mean, I don't have to go back to the bucket for anything. If everything's in my bucket and my apron's in the bucket and everything's ready to go, and when I set it in the house, I know that I have everything there. I've never had to once go back and look for either a brush or a razor blade or anything like that the kit in my manly tool belt. So
So, what is the impact on time it takes you to clean a home and on the quality of the finished product?
yeah, no, definitely. More the faster we clean the house, the better our profit is. And on an average, I would say it can save us probably between the time they would take us, I'd say anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes on a house. That's between me and my wife, and especially my sisters, because one thing about it is they are definitely, like I say, to me, the heart and soul of us, because they put their own time and effort into our company, and just watching them learn with us and take into consideration our ideas has got a long ways. I mean, and they do a phenomenal job. The networking side, we had no idea how to do that or even what it was, and now we're looking to new ways to get into that, with whether it's the kids' school or even the neighborhood. We've come up. We haven't done this yet, but we're going to be doing this hopefully soon. Is to get the neighborhood together and have a little bit of an event there for the kiddos and for the families whenever the weather is nicer and the tornado season is over, of course. But yeah, networking, we're going to make that a big part of this, and that's something, like I said, hadn't crossed our minds. That's networking, but marketing, boy, I thought that to market, we just go hand out flyers and put them on their windshields or windshield wipers and this and that. But no, there's so much more. We have learned that we need to take our investment, to take our money, invest it into marketing. Whether it's Google right now, it's the biggest thing we're concentrating on is Google, but we also we're going to do the with what is this? Postmania, I believe is their name. We're going to try to get in with them to deliver some some flyers through the mail. Do want our name to get out there, and little things like that are mentioned in the business in a box that I take as gold nuggets is the things such as how many times somebody has to see you before you make an impression on them, or before they decide they're going to call you, or when they feel comfortable calling you. And I keep that in mind all the time when I think about marketing, because it's never going to be over. We're going to have to we're just starting out in the marketing process, but we're going to have to maintain that throughout our years in business. And like I said, that's just something we had never thought of, but it's now in our minds, and it's without that, I think we would have been dead from the get-go, so.
Good. So the last thing that you talked about was, as far as challenges, was the sales script. Talk about the sales script. And have you used it? And what do you think?
Yeah, no, the sales script is probably my very favorite of the tools that I have found. Um, I mean, like I said, there's a gold mine in the whole business in the box. Uh, but the thing about the sales script, um, when I first started doing it myself, I already had a sales script which consisted of, what's how many bedrooms, what's the square footage, and blah 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 blah. Nothing to entice people as to what I do or to listen to me as to what we do, and show them that we know what we're doing as far as when we go in their house and clean, what our steps would be, what they can expect to see from us. It's more of a, what's your address, what's your square footage, and this is how much I would charge you. The sales script, you can't beat it. I love it. It's awesome. And I think that if we continue, one of the things I like about it is, basically kept almost exactly the sales script that I got from you. But I know that eventually, if we wanted to change something, I can do it without any effort, and practice it, and believe it, and breathe it, and pass that on to the people that are using it. It's an excellent tool. It goes hand in hand with marketing. I mean, you're marketing to that person right there and then. And if you don't do a good job at it, and you're sitting there blabbering away about things that have nothing to do with what they're looking for, then you're just going to lose that business, and you have to wait for the next opportunity to make it up. And why not do your best as soon as they call? Have your best foot forward when your phone rings, and make the best out of your time there and try to make that sale. So at first it was me. I was using it. I definitely saw a difference in the way that the clients responded, because just like I would talk to them with the script in a more professional way, well, they would respond back to me in a more professional way, whether it was telling me that no, they didn't want the service and that they wanted to think about it, or that I'll call you back, or whatever it was. It definitely made a difference in the way that the conversation went with the client or the customer when they called. Number two, whenever I used it, it was great, but it wasn't. I gotta say, it really didn't get, or it got a lot better when the VA started using it. I'm talking about our new VA. We just started with an outfit that you recommended to us. The first people that I was with, I don't think they believed in the script. I did a couple of test calls myself to see how they were using it, or if they were using it, and they were just chopping it all up, and they were changing things for me, or they weren't even using it at all. And because they had so much experience answering phones for other people, that they would just, juggle through the conversation. And I didn't like that. But like I said, after I got to those people you recommended with me, and listened to them, it's kind of like watching your baby. And when you get somebody that believes it, like the way that this gal does, I mean, I think, she's going to make that tool even better. It's great.
Tell us about your goals for 2019. And did you have any before Business in the Box?
Yeah, no, we didn't. We didn't have any more goals before Business in the Box than we could see the next couple of weeks, because we work 2 weeks at a time back after it. And so we didn't have any goals in mind. We did have big dreams, which is a good place to start, I should say, but no plans in place and no goals. And but our goals for 2019 this year, we do want to, number one is perfect our core training. We do want to make sure that we can do it as easily as we breathe, so that when it comes time and we do hire employees, we don't have to sit there and think to ourselves what's next or whatnot. We want to be able to just pass that on to them, and try to make sure that we continue continual growth. I've been trying to work I've usually been pretty good with Excel and things like that, but I've come up with several charts and stuff, that we're going to use to track this as we go, and make sure that we accomplish that, by the end of this year. We're going to try to bring one or both of my sisters to work full time with us. We have a lot of work ahead of us, but I think we're on the right track,
And you also want to be #1 on Google.
And right now, looking at the rankings, we partner up with Web Launch Local. They're helping us do that. And looking at it, I think we're on trend to, we're on track to do that. We just have to, stay focused and keep that marketing mentality and that marketing aid coming. I mean, we have to keep the dollars going towards it.
I have to ask you this before, but if a person asked you, maybe who was in business a year and a half, maybe somebody's doing 100,000, what is business in a box, and do you think it would do me any good? How would you answer that question?
I would have to say that it definitely will do you good. I'd say if you're a person just starting, which is me, I can speak from my personal experience with it. I mean, definitely. I mean, it'll put your thoughts, put your worries at ease, first of all, and it'll put you on a path to where you can succeed, rather than a path where to succeed you would have to go through a lot of hoops and jump through or just go through a lot of hassle learning things that you probably would never come across on your own. And one of those things, of course, is core training. Also, whenever you start on your own, I think that, unfortunately, we do need a lot of help, and we're afraid to ask. I got to say, we don't take the time sometimes to ask somebody that's in the business or somebody that has the expertise to help us. And Business in the Box is just that. I mean, that's what it's been to us anyways. We had no idea that there was a whole realm of things that goes into starting a, residential cleaning service that are now available to us at our fingertips. I mean, right now we have, whether it's the videos, whether it's the paperwork, sheets, I mean, the company handbook. There's so many things there that are available to you as a person that's starting out. If you're in the business, say making $100,000 a year already, well, I guarantee you that there's ways there that you can increase your earning potential. You can increase them at a fast pace if you just follow the steps or the guidance that's in the book. And the reason I say that is because watching some of the webinars and seminars that are in there, I do hear a lot of people that have been in business for 10, 15, 20 years, and they have this and this and this and many repeat clients or whatever. And I'm thinking, if they would have just gotten in the program a lot sooner, then, they could be so much farther ahead. And that's my thought. That's my personal opinion. Everybody has their own choices to make, but I do believe that if you have the tools in hand to do something, right, then you can get that done a lot quicker than if you sit there and try to find those while you're trying to do the job or way down the road when you think you need them or whatever, And Business in a Box, to me, like I said, it's everything that I need to start my company off the ground, which that's where I'm at right now, starting it from scratch, to what I'm going to need to do to maintain it as we become successful, and what I need to do to shoot for that $1 million a year company, and which is what we're going to be if we continue, if God willing, if we continue at this path. Yeah.
So any final words? I mean, you probably just said it all in the last thing you said, but are there any final words? I mean, I really appreciate that you feel we didn't talk about the employee at all and the hiring and the recruiting. Did you feel comfortable that you now could go out and run an ad and onboard this person and have them want to stay with you as far as the leadership skills?
Yeah, no, and I guess like I said, there's so much there that I think I can go on for hours and hours and talk about the stuff that I've learned so far with Business in a Box, and that's why there's so many things that fall through the cracks when we're sitting here and talking what the benefits have been of using it. But that's another one of the biggest things, which is say when like I mentioned, we start everything backwards. Well, we were going to hire somebody, and we put an ad out there, and I made a couple of calls on the over the phone, and those were horrible. Boy, I chopped them up. I didn't know what I was asking them, except I was kind of hoping that they sounded nice and they were trustworthy over the phone. I mean, who the heck does that, right? But we did, because I thought I had a sixth sense, I guess. But that's one thing about your system. That's we have clear. I like the questionnaire that's there, because that questionnaire is really, if a person can answer those questions and in a way that would satisfy you and then make you feel at ease, that person's going to be a good candidate for you to work at your company, and it's going to actually benefit you to have them. I love the fact that I can go back and have that anytime that I'm ready to hire, and have those questions to go through with, and then once we do hire them, now I have a plan in place, which is go through the orientation and do the core training and do all that. I didn't have any of that before. It was just as soon as I hire somebody, hopefully they're nice and they'll come clean with us, and we're gonna not be bumping into each other in the house. So like I said, so many great things to go there, and I definitely want to thank you for it. I think I did mention to you, I do believe, and I know learning from me not finishing my school and being one of my regrets, I think that I have learned, and I truly believe that you have to educate yourself to no matter what you do. And one of the things that I try to do with your program, it has done for me, is educate me. I think people can be very, very naive, thinking that they can do things on their own sometimes and go into it. And then once they're in there, they'll reach a point to where they feel, like they can't do it. They'll start, the mentality is going to start setting in that you're not good enough for it, that maybe you're cut out for something else. And if you educate yourself, though, and to expect these, for example, the challenge that I knew to expect here with marketing, I'm not going to be putting my name out there one day and the next day I'm going to be on top of Google, or I'm not going to set out there 1,000 flyers and expect 20 repeat clients out of them. No, I expect it to be challenging. I expect certain things, and that has made me better at waiting for these things to happen. It eases my mind. And, I think both of us, we feel that no matter how much we try to sometimes knock ourselves down or mentally say, oh, you know what, maybe this isn't going to work for us or whatever, all we have to do is think about those things that we have learned and realize that it's going to happen. We just have to stick with it. We just have to stay positive, positive. That's one of another cool things about your program. There's a video there. I believe it's called Put Hopes Where Others Think There's No Hope. I want to say, I hope I'm not messing that up, but it's something like that. That is a great concept. I mean, the way you have to be. You have to be able to tell yourself that you are the person that you say you are, and that you are going to be the person that you're going to be. Business in a Box can actually bring that to you, because not only do you have those tools on hand that help you to grow your company, or that are going to help you to mold your company the way you want it to be, whether it's in the office, in the field, or in the public eye, but you're going to have words there of encouragement that you're going to pop in a video maybe, and and just for an example, when I was at work this past week, I had a pretty stressful week, and I was supposed to be going through several things there in my business in a box. And I popped in a video of the 7 habits of highly successful people. And I realized right there and then that the reason I had such a stressful day was because I wasn't putting my first things first. I was so concentrated on doing both things at once, which was work on my company and actually do my job, which is pretty demanding, that I was forgetting to put things in order at work. And when you realize that, and when you step back and you realize that you just learned that off of business in a box, I hope that, and I hope that everybody can step back and have that feeling one of these days, and they can share that with you. It's pretty great. It has been great to us. We'll continue with it, and some of the lessons that we've learned there, I think, are going to be lifetime lessons. But you have to we have to make ourselves do it. We have to turn them into habits for ourselves. I think we're on that path, and I do want to thank you, Sharon, because one of the things we didn't expect to get when we bought the system, which is, I guess it's funny because when I bought the system, I remember I called you when I was at work, and I was getting ready to go to bed, and then you called me back, and then right there and then, talking to you within 5 minutes, I realized that I have to get this because she really knows she really knows what she's talking about. So I said, I have to get this, and I got it. And I say we bought the system because I bought the system without permission, but she's really glad that I did now, and it has been great to us. So I just want to thank you because we sure weren't expecting to just buy a system to tell us how to develop the company, but we were actually, along with it, came, something of a business partner, because that's pretty much what you have been to us. I mean, I have called you several times already to ask for your opinion on something or advice, and you hit the nail on the head when I talked to you. And it's I got to say I do want to thank you for that. I do feel that having you on our side is definitely it's gonna make us better. It has definitely started making us better, but it's gonna make us succeed. If anybody is thinking, or thinking of growing their company or whatever it is, whether growing their company or starting their company, if they do, it's so much better when you have somebody that wants to help. And I really do feel that you want to help. I do feel that business is business, and that there's always going to be business out there. But I will admit that when I talk to you, it is a personal thing. I do feel that we have made a friendship. We have established something of a lifeline for ourselves, because you don't have to put yourself in a corner where you can't get out of if you always have somebody to call and ask for help. And that's what you've become for us, and I sure appreciate it. And trust me, we're just starting out, but we do know that we're going to be bugging you over the years, just so you know.
Hey, I'm going to retire one day, Hector. Well, thank you. I appreciate your time so much. I have taken too much of it. Good luck in the oil field.
Yeah, no, definitely. I sure appreciate your time. It was a pleasure doing this, and we'll hopefully do it again someday. And like I said, when we do it again, it's going to be a different story.
Thank you, Hector. Have a good day. Thank you, audience, for joining us. And Business in the Box can be found on my website, and all the information, get to my website, Business in the Box, is on the right-hand side and the bottom of your screen. Have a wonderful day, everybody.